Hey everyone, welcome to day 23 of our creative journal. So I chose the topic basically very kind of simple, instincts. So a little bit about instincts. Do you ever have that little voice inside you that says, don't go down that alleyway? But then you go down that alleyway and get mugged and you don't listen to your gut, your instinct? Or that instinct that says, you should probably put yellow on that painting, add some yellow. But then you don't listen to your gut and you're too scared to do it. So this is about getting back to our basic instincts, getting back to listening to our gut, following what our actual first instincts are. Sometimes we think too much about something or we feel too much, and instead of just going with it, just whatever your gut says. And that is really how I approach my painting. I wasn't always that way, but I just one day decided to do it. And it worked, and I liked it. And now it's natural for me. That's not to say that I listen to my instincts all the time in other manners of my life, because let's face it, we all kind of, don't do that from time to time. And then we wake up and say, I should have listened to my gut instinct, right? Well, this time I want you to think about getting back to basic instincts. Not so much your animalistic instincts, but really just listening to yourself, listening to your gut. What does your gut say to do or not to do? And then I decided it would be really cool to kind of paint in our journal an animal that represents what we think, how we act on our instincts. And so basically I want you to pick an animal that represents you, and not an animal you love, like, oh, my favorite animal is birds or horses or cows or whatever, but an animal that you feel represents you. So my favorite animal happens to be, well, I have a lot. Yeah, I have a favorite of everything, but I love gorillas, love horses, love dogs. None of those really represent me. So I chose a bird. And I always say, I'm a bird. But really, how it all happened was when I began painting, I was really trying to find myself. And I wouldn't listen to my gut instincts. I would wait for someone else to tell me what to do. If I was working with art or I had a mentor, I would question everything. And one day I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to be free. And that's how I developed the Rising Free series, which was my first kind of real series on my own. It's the series that most of everyone knows me for, which are the bright colors, the no faces, and a lot of the birds are in the pieces. Because at the time, birds were representing a sense of freedom. Freedom in myself, freedom to follow my gut, freedom to do what I want. And to this day, that still represents me very well, sometimes in a different way. Like, for one, I don't ever like to feel trapped or confined. And I don't mean just like in a small room. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in life in general. I don't like to be put in a box. I don't like to be told that I need to paint one way or I have to act one way. I'd like to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And in that, I find a lot of freedom. And so I feel like the bird represents that we're so much happier. And I say we, meaning I'm calling myself a bird right now. We're so much happier when we can spread our wings and fly. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So that is my animal. Choose yours, paint it out, have some fun with it, be honest about it, and don't be afraid to put down if it's a lizard, that's cool, or whatever. All right, guys, have fun with this one, enjoy it, and have a great weekend. For those of you that are doing this on a Friday, have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.